Here's the boarding on Owen Beck that was reviewed as a major and then reduced to absolutely no penalty at all. And I'm shocked by that decision. And I'm sure their thought process is that Beck turns just prior to contact and puts the Swedish player in an impossible position. I don't see that as true. Look at the angle of approach from the Swedish player here. Beck is going down the wall, and the Swedish player cuts the corner route off. He's good positioning, stick on puck, great angling. He's got Beck beat to the corner. But what's Beck supposed to do? He's not supposed to just sit there and take contact. He makes an escape move, a predictable escape move, and tries to cut back up the boards. And he's pasted into the boards. When this Swedish player goes in for contact, it's not like he doesn't see Beck's numbers. His hand is directly on his back, and his hips are on either side of Beck's hips. So there's no way he can push him into the boards any other way but face first. Look at how he lines up here, the way his skates go. Everything's going forward towards the boards. Beck is trying to get up ice to his left, and the Swedish player stops him and drives him forcefully forward. Beck turning around and rotating his shoulder isn't what made him vulnerable, it's what saved his neck. If he doesn't roll and get his head out of the way like he does here, look at his head pop up to the left and his shoulder hits the boards luckily. If he doesn't do that, he's going face first, and it's because of the force and the outward pressure of this Swedish player pushing him into the boards. And I love that some of the panelists say, well, in the NHL, this would be just a push. Yeah, that's the problem. He's pushing him directly into the boards from a dangerous distance. And too much is being made of the fact that it was his shoulder that hit the boards first. It doesn't matter when it's boarding. We're not looking at a checking from behind penalty. We're looking at a boarding penalty. And a boarding penalty shall be imposed on any player who checks or pushes a defenseless opponent in such a manner that causes an opponent to hit or impact the boards violently or dangerously. The parameter there does say that circumstances of the check should be considered, including whether the opponent put himself in a vulnerable position immediately prior to or simultaneously with the check, or whether the check was unavoidable. That's what should be considered. Based on the positioning of the players, the fact that Beck rotates and turns back should come as no surprise to that forechecker. It's what he wants. He angled him that way to do that. And he was going to get beat up the wall. Beck cuts back sharply, and that player has to put his hand on his back and shove forward to stop him from skating away into the open space, because he knows he's beat otherwise. To me, the angle of approach, which is through the back, the proximity to the boards, and the violence of impact do warrant a major penalty. But at the very, very least, this is a minor penalty for boarding.